Coming up, should the 49ers sign Taylor Lewan after he was released by the Tennessee Titans? Let's talk about it here on the 49ers Report. This is the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and today's show is presented by Vincero Collective. You can get 20% off and free shipping on their exceptionally crafted and affordable watches at vincerocollective.com/chat. Absolutely love their watches. You can see for yourself using that link down below. So 49ers Twitter today going wild, and I've seen a lot of entertaining conversations on the cesspool that is Twitter about Taylor Lewan and whether or not the 49ers should sign him to replace Mike McGlinchey, because McGlinchey figures to get paid some big-time dollars in NFL free agency. Now, obviously with Lewan, he's a left tackle, and also he's been injured a lot. Released by the Titans today to save $14.8 million, as Ran Carthon is really running the show at that franchise. He was the director of player personnel with San Francisco, goes to Nashville, and he cut 3 players today, namely Taylor Lewan, also cut Robert Woods, making a couple of roster moves to free up a lot of cap space on that Titans roster, because he is putting his foot down, and it is a new era in Nashville. Now, this news was broken by the podcast that Taylor Lewan is on, Bussin' with the Boys, that Lewan has been let go by Tennessee, the team that drafted him 9 years ago, and during that span, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, and Lewan has a good personality. He's really an entertaining follow. He took to Twitter and said, "I hope it did enough to create something all the Titans fans can be proud of. I love you all." Now, obviously, there's a lot to unpack with Lewan as the player. We're going to uncover all of it here on today's show. And 49ers Twitter, which is why we're talking about it here, clamoring for San Francisco to sign him. Mike McGlinchey is going to get paid in NFL free agency, and Taylor Lewan, given the injury issues that he's had, if he wants to continue his playing career, because he has flirted with retirement and alluded to it, the 49ers could potentially sign him for cheap. Couple of concerns here with Taylor Lewan. A lot of injuries over the last few years, and Taylor Lewan is a left tackle. He's never played right tackle at the NFL level. He's always been holding it down on that left side. But as a player, very well accomplished. 11th overall pick in 2014 to the Titans out of Michigan. 9 years in Nashville. During that time, a 3-time Pro Bowler, 2 All-Pro appearances, 105 games played. It's a large sample size for Taylor Lewan, no doubt about it. But in years 6 through 9, he has missed a combined 33 games. After getting injured as a rookie, he had a nice little stretch there from year 2 to year 5, in which he only missed a combined 12 games. And for a team in San Francisco that has Super Bowl aspirations, that since Kyle Shanahan has gotten hired, they've had one of the highest injury rates among all 32 teams in the NFL, bringing in a player at a key position for the purpose of this conversation at right tackle, a little bit of a concern. Has not played a full season going all the way back to 2017, and in total has appeared in 47 games over the last 5 years, and he's suffered 2 ACL tears. And this came across my Twitter timeline a couple of days ago, and I thought it was very, very interesting. The most ACL tears for a football organization going all the way back to 2013. 49ers, unfortunately, the fans know all about it, atop this list. 28 combined ACL tears going all the way back to about 10 years ago. Denver Broncos with 24, Philadelphia Eagles with 22, Arizona Cardinals with 22, and the Washington Commanders with 21. So with Lewan having 2 ACL tears throughout his career, that is yet another injury concern that the 49ers would have to think about and have to go over if they did want to bring him in. Now, do you want the faithful, the Niners, to sign Taylor Lewan? I want you to let me know down in the comment section your opportunity to be a part of the show like I am. I voice my opinions here on air. You can voice your opinions as well. D for do it, H for no way, he's always hurt. Sound off with what you think. Coming up next, injuries aside, Would Taylor Lewan even want to play right tackle, or would he just want to stay at left tackle? Stay tuned for that. But the 49ers report today, as I mentioned off the top of the show, presented by Vincero Collective. You can get 20% off your order and get a watch like mine with the promo code chat at vincerocollective.com/chat. Really love Vincero. They are essentially a design house for modern men and women, crafting really sleek watches, sunglasses, and more. I have several watches from them, so too do some of my coworkers here at Chat Sports. We absolutely love them. One of the ones I have from them, it's the one that I'm rocking here. I get tons of compliments on it, and it's clear from the first impression how well made they are. It served as the perfect daily driver for me over the years because of how versatile it is. I also got one of their women's pieces for Kira. She absolutely loved it. Feels like she hasn't taken it off since. Based on the West Coast, GQ actually recently called Vincero their go-to brand for modern accessories, and it's easy to see why. And you need to check them out if you haven't already done so. Right now, if you're looking for a perfect gift for either yourself or somebody who you really care about, Vincero is where it's at. Exceptionally crafted, high quality, affordable watches, and for the Niner gang, a great deal for you. 20% off and free shipping at vincerocollective.com/chat. We're going to put that link in the comments section. We're going to put it in the description of this video so that you can start looking fresh and also saving money on some high quality watches. As for Taylor Lewan wanting to play right tackle or playing left tackle, he was asked about this in 2016 by some Tennessee Titans beat reporters because at that time, the Titans organization was maybe going to make some moves, and there was going to be a little bit of a competition along that offensive line where Taylor Lewan would have had to have played right tackle. And here's what he said. I never thought anything of it because I know I'm not a right tackle. I'm a left tackle. I knew I was the left tackle for this team, and I knew once I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. John Robinson and Coach Mike Mularkey that they would hear my piece and where I was from. So at that point, we're coming up on 7 years ago that Lewan didn't want to play right tackle. But if he wants to extend his NFL career, and if he wants to latch on with the team that has Super Bowl aspirations, maybe it could be San Francisco. Now, of course, I'm a little bit worried about that switch. I remember Andre Dillard of the Philadelphia Eagles was asked, hey, can you play right tackle? Because primarily you've been on that left side. And he's like, have you ever tried to right with the opposite hand? That's kind of what it's like. Now, the offensive lineman who I've talked to said it's not really that drastic, but for a guy who's been in the league for a really long time, obviously Lewan has become really comfortable on the left side of the line of scrimmage. But Brad from SF Niners does as good of a job as anybody covering the 49ers and covering the NFL of breaking down offensive linemen and has a really good eye for offensive lineman talent. So for when he takes to Twitter and says something like this, get Taylor Lewan on the Niners, if any team can recruit him and convince him to play right tackle, it's us, then I take some stock in that because Brad knows the intricacies of the offensive line position really, really well. And if you haven't checked out his scouting breakdowns, make sure you do so. Hit him up on Twitter. He actually also had that really good interview with Brandon Ayuk. And this 49ers locker room has a lot of guys with a similar personality and persona to Taylor Lewan. One of those guys is George Kittle. He said this a few years ago. Taylor Lewan, dog, he simply said. So would he be a fit in this locker room? For sure. Would he be able to make that switch and play a different position? Yeah, maybe. The next question, though, is Taylor Lewan better than Mike McGlinchey? At this point, probably not. But is he going to be more affordable than Mike McGlinchey? For sure. The other question as part of this conversation, do the Niners need to make some adjustments and improvements on that offensive line? The simple answer there is, of course, a resounding yes. In the biggest games of the season for the Niners, I thought that they got physically overpowered in the trenches offensively by both the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't always take a bunch of stock in these Pro Football Focus rankings, especially for offensive linemen. It simply does not tell the full story, but it does tell somewhat of a story about the 49ers needing to improve along the offensive line. Like Aaron Banks gave up, I think, 1 sack all year, but still his grade was a 62.7. Jake Brendel I actually thought was pretty solid for being a journeyman up to this past year, 64.9. I thought that Spencer Burford was better than a 49.6, and Mike McGlinchey, league average, is 70 on the nose according to PFF. He was actually above league average. As a pass blocker, McGlinchey does struggle a little bit. As a run blocker, though, really solid player who can get out in space with that really good athleticism. And among all right tackles in the game, he is one of the better run-blocking right tackles. In pass protection, you can make an argument, of course, against that, no doubt, and I'm probably with you. In 2022, more than 1,000 snaps played, 561 pass-blocking snaps, 10 penalties, 6 sacks allowed, 3 hits, 27 total pressures. But here's the deal. McGlinchey is the number 1 or number 2 free agent right tackle who's going to hit the open market, so he is due for a payday. Anywhere, in my opinion, ranging between $13-16 million. I'm going to go right in the middle range there. I think he's going to get a deal worth about $15 million because the going rate for tackles of his caliber, for instance, Lane Johnson, $18 million per year. McGlinchey is probably the number 1 or number 2 free agent right tackle. He's going to get paid by an offensive lineman needy team. George Fant, Mike McGlinchey, Billy Turner, Caleb McGarry, and Jawan James, the top right tackles set to hit the market, and that's why McGlinchey's market is going to be very, very handsome, and that's why he's going to get paid some big-time dollars that probably the 49ers will not be able to afford because they're paying so much money to other players on this roster. If you made it this far in the show and you're still rocking with us, that means that you're a real one. We want to show you some love for showing us some love. So type real one. I'm going to go back and heart as many as I can. Appreciate all of you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Second video of the day. This is really the story of the offseason, right? Pushing out as much content as possible that's both informative as well as entertaining. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time here on the show.